When we were sitting, the entire time I was sitting, and before I would spell, there were just a million thoughts going through my head. But you know, when I went up on stage, I shoved all of that away, and I just tried to focus on, you know, Dr. Bailey and the words that I had to spell. I tuned out all the cameras and everything. My name is Trinity Gopal. I'm from San Ramon, California, and I'm going to 9th grade this year. And I love to sing, dance, and play the piano. And of course, I love spelling as well.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Trinity recently won 7th place at Scripps. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I think all the spellers need to have a lot of endurance.
Mm-hmm.
In the final round, it was really long. You know, I just wanted to hear from your perspective how you got to the place where you're able to have the composure to, you know, patiently wait for as long as you did and keep putting your best effort.
Well, you know, so during the morning finals, there were so many ad breaks. I think every 3 or 4 spellers, or 4 to 5 spellers who spelled, we'd have a little time to get up and stretch, and they brought over water and everything to make us a little more comfortable. But you know, it was a really long and like tedious process. I think the whole thing was like 4 hours, morning finals. So that was really long. But the thing is, I think we kind of all managed through it because we all had like the drive to like stay in the competition, you know. And right before we went to spell, we would just have a little like minute to compose ourselves and then go down and spell our words. So yeah.
Well, good job. That's very.
Thank you.
Clearly you have a lot of drive and you have a good work ethic. So where do you think that comes from?
In the beginning, my parents were really the ones who helped me inculcate that type of drive. And I think that's one of the biggest things that spelling taught me, because prepping for spelling is something that requires a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I learned to effectively manage my time while balancing things like my outside activities as well as schoolwork and spelling at the same time. So yeah.
Do you have a story or example?
Honestly, I would just say going to Scripps. When I went to Scripps, I was at the same time, that was our 8th grade promotion, graduation ceremony, and you know, everyone was really hyped about the ceremony. But you know, the whole week before that, when we were in school, I was just feeling really sad because I was gonna miss that and my school's trip to Great America. So but then that's when I like kind of reminded myself that I had worked so hard for Scripps, and I had put in so much effort that, you know, just to forget about that kind of thing and focus on the task at hand. So yeah.
Wow. So in a way, it's almost like the sacrifices
Yeah.
are what, you know, remind you to stay motivated.
Yeah, because I had so many activities to complete as well as spelling, a lot of times I would like, you know, I had to stop, I guess, hanging out with my friends. I missed a lot of birthday parties and things like that. So, but I mean, in the end, it was all worth it because, you know, I got to do what I love a lot. So yeah.
Who do you look up to? Like, if you could sit down and have dinner with someone, anyone, they can be alive or dead, you know, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Well, I would say my greatest role model would probably be Ben Carson, because he was, you know, a person who worked in the medical field and then went into politics, and that's kind of the same career path that I'd like to follow. So I'd really like to meet him and, you know, get to talk to him. So yeah.
What about him do you look up to?
I think that's really amazing to go from something like medicine to politics, because those two fields are like on opposite poles, honestly. And so I'm really interested in biology, but at the same time I'm also really interested, like I said, public speaking.
Yeah.
So his ability to perform well in both is something that I really admire. So yeah.
Would you say even in your passions you're kind of trying to pursue 2 or more things?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. That's the thing. My interests are really varied, but you know, I guess as I grow older, I'll really find my niche or whatever. I'll find like my comfort area and what I'm really like most passionate about. So, you know, I'm just developing that kind of thing right now. So we'll see how it goes in the future.
So, do you remember the first time that you were in a spelling competition?
Yeah, so probably my first spelling competition was my school spelling bee. And then I would say another one of my first was definitely NSF. The first time I did senior spelling in NSF as a fourth grader, and that's when I really understood like how the competition would be and the level of the competition, how the words would be, and you know, like the overall like a general idea of the competition in itself. So yeah.
How would you compare, you know, your own experience on stage from then to now?
You know, before I used to be very, very nervous, and it wasn't even like a heavy lights, lots of camera stage. Back when I was like little, I didn't have this. I wasn't in such a like highly publicized setting.
Yeah.
But back then, I was really nervous, which I think is what contributed to a lot of times when I would misspell. That nervousness didn't help at all. But I think over the years, like especially 7th and 8th grade, I kind of learned to, you know, focus more on the word when I was spelling instead of like whether I was going to miss or not, or whether I knew the word or not, more on just like figuring out the word and what the spelling of the word was. Yeah.
Nice. I can't imagine, because like if I was on stage for that long, I think I would have so many thoughts going through my head, because, you know, especially practiced for so long. So to put away that pressure and just be in the moment, you know, I really commend that.
Thank you. You know, it's when we were sitting, the entire time I was sitting and before I would spell, there were just a million thoughts going through my head. But you know, when I went up on stage, I shoved all of that away and I just tried to focus on, you know, Dr. Bailey and the word that I had to spell. So yeah. I tuned out all the cameras and everything. So yeah.
So what role has your family played in this journey?
You know, my parents are the ones who like really brought about my interest in spelling, because they introduced to me like books and things like that. And additionally, they've helped me so much, not only in like preparing, but you know, just motivating me, helping me. When we were at Scripps, my mom wrote me letters beforehand, and she gave them to my dad to give me on every night of B week. So I think that was so sweet, because you know, it was totally unexpected. I wasn't expecting that at all, because on the first day, like right after the prelims test, I came to the hotel and my dad was like, "Oh, your mom wrote this for you," and then I saw it. And I just having like your family there, like rooting for you, is just, I think it's really nice. You know, it gives you that confidence that I think everyone needs.
Yeah, confidence.
Yeah, confidence is key.
Do you do any like little preps before you know, go on stage to boost up that confidence?
Well, this is really weird, but every time I go up on stage, I crack my knuckles right before, and I don't know, whenever I do it, I got the word right. So
Does cracking your knuckles give you confidence?
yeah, I guess so. I think that sound I think that sound just gives me that extra boost that I need.
Yeah. Okay, from Trinity, to spell, you need to crack your knuckles.
No, yeah. Crack your knuckles.
Yeah, no, I've tried some other things though. Like I've done the power pose. You know the power pose, like just like becoming as big as possible, basically. Just for a couple minutes, and I do feel the confidence come in.
The thing is, I think you just have to find like your own like I don't know, good luck charm, I guess, because you know, I used to try to do the power pose, but I always ended up feeling stupid after I did it. So I kind of just found what comforted me the most. So yeah.
So yeah, do you have any advice for other young spellers coming into this world?
Well, I would say, okay, first of all, don't get nervous during competitions, because honestly, getting nervous is the worst thing you can do, because when I got nervous, I would tend to overcomplicate the word or second guess myself, and in the spur of the moment, I would just spell the word wrong. Well, there was a local competition, you know, it was called the Pan Asian Spelling Bee, and my word was avocados, and um, I don't even know what I was thinking about. I was like, my parents are going to be disappointed. In reality, like, nothing happened, honestly. And I was just so nervous that I just completely, I didn't bother to ask for anything, and I ended up spelling the word wrong. So if I had asked for the information, I would have learned that it was plural, and I would have spelled it correctly. But I rushed, and I got nervous, and I spelled the word wrong. So
How did you spell it?
I think I spelled it AVACADOS. Yeah. So bad times. Yeah, I would definitely say don't get nervous. Compose yourself before spelling. Ask for all the information. It really, really helps. Yeah.
How did you get over that nervousness? Did you do any practices at home? Was it just going to more competitions?
Yeah, I think, that was one of the things that NSF really, really helped me with, because going to NSF, gave me an extra opportunity to participate and furthermore cultivate my spelling. And also, I practiced at home with like a mic. Sometimes just before the competition, like for a couple of minutes, I would just practice, and it'd give me a little more confidence. And right before the competition, I would just think to myself, you studied a lot, so just go and do the best that you can do. So yeah.
Confidence is a big thing.
Yeah, it is. It really, it really is. Yeah.
So do you have any last words, last thoughts?
I would say mostly do spelling because if you have the love for it, and if you have the passion for it, and if you have the drive for it, don't do it because someone expects you to do it. If you're interested in geography, then do geography. I used to be interested in geography for a lot, and I did NSF's geography competitions as well, and I went to the state competition for geography B as well. And then eventually I just grew more interested in spelling, so I began to focus on that more. So really just follow whatever your interests are, and during competitions, don't be nervous, be confident, and you'll perform great. And yeah. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Bye to everyone.
Bye.